This call is now being recorded.
A very good evening to all of you. Time to सबके important resource है हमारा. Consultative Committee of Members of Parliament for Railway Zones is constituted by Pune constituted Consultative Committee of Members of Parliament for Railway Zones is constituted by President of India, Ministry of Railways, Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, Ministry of Transport. Pune kore 18. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs se ki kore Consultative Committee of Members of Parliament. Members of Parliament or Consultative Committee ekhon banai diye. Simple. Which one of the following statements is not correct? Press Council of India is an autonomous quasi-judicial body established under an Act of Parliament. Press Information Bureau provides accreditation to media persons so as to have easy access to information from government sources. Among all the states of India, Maharashtra publishes the largest number of newspapers. PTI is the largest news agency in the country. Madhya Pradesh to largest hoy boli koise. Madhya Pradesh is the largest number of newspaper published kore. 20. With reference to Indian public finance, consider the following statements. Disbursement from public accounts of India are subject to vote of Parliament. Public account of a disbursement to vote of Parliament lagibo. The Indian Constitution provides for the establishment of a consolidated fund, a public account, and a contingency fund for each state. Appropriations and disbursements under railway budget are subject to same form of parliamentary control as other appropriations and disbursements. One to definitely wrong boli koise. So 1 to wrong hua loge loge 2 and 3 ahi gol. Correct. Archaeological Survey of India is an attached office of the Department, Ministry of Culture, Tourism, Science and Technology, Human Resource Development. Etia Highs Uttar Pradesh newspaper. 21 to culture boli koise. Yes, it is culture hoy. The Central Rural Sanitation Program was launched in 1986 to improve the quality of life of rural people in India. Rural sanitation is a subject in the concurrent list in the Constitution of India. Concurrent list of assembly koise rural sanitation. Rural sanitation wrong hoy. So A is true, but R is false. Disputes with mobile cellular companies, motor accident cases, pension cases. Lok Adalat sat kunbur hobo pare. (23) All gute kita hobo pare. Very good. There is no provision in the Constitution of India to encourage equal pay for equal work for both men and women. The Constitution in India does not define backward classes. One wrong বুলি কৈছে. One wrong হোৱাৰ লগে লগে two only, neither one and two. Two only বুলি কৈছে, does not define backward classes. 24. B is correct. Define কৰা নাই. The nationwide scheme of National Child Labour Projects is run by Union Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Gurupat Swami Committee deals with issues of child labor. Twenty-five. B, two only is correct. অকল এইটো correct হয়, এইটো নহয়. So, National Child Labour Projects is run by whom? এইটো জানে নেকি আপোনালোকে? Nationwide scheme of the National Child Labour Projects is run by Union Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. চাই পিনে কৈ দিবচোন. Consider the following statements. In India, Metropolitan Planning Committee is constituted under the provisions of the Constitution of India. Prepares the draft development plans for metropolitan area. Has the sole responsibility Labour and Employment Ministry. Thank you. Has the sole responsibility for implementing government-sponsored schemes in the metropolitan area. Sole responsibility so etu nohoy. 3 to noha lage lage 2 to whole prepares draft is constituted under the provision of Constitution of India. Etu correct hoy. So 1 and 2 only. So etu thik ase. Etu Mr. Gage amak kole etu Ministry of Labour buli koise. Social Justice nohoy, Ministry of Labour. The Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts Committee, consists not more than 25 members of Lok Sabha, scrutinizes appropriation and finance accounts of government, examines the report of Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Not more than 25 members. 25 members to hoine nohoy etu janibo lage, etu koise. One wrong, 22 members. Ami janu etu 22 members. So 1 to wrong, 1 wrong. 3 hopoi lagibo. Examines the report of Comptroller and Auditor General. Etu janu ami. Scrutinizes appropriation and finance accounts of the government. 15 Lok Sabha, 7 Rajya Sabha. Very good. 2 and 3 bili ko say 27B is absolutely correct. Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan is a national campaign too. এই national schemes বিলাক আমি চাব লাগে নহয়, national schemes বিলাক এনেকে এটা দুটা হুদি থাকে মাজে মাজে. গৰিমা অভিযানটো কিহৰ কাৰণে হয়? গৰিমা 28C is correct. Eradicate the practice of manual scavenging or rehabilitate the manual scavengers. Consider the following statements. Minimum age prescribed for any person to become a member of panchayat is 25 years. Member of panchayat, 25 years. Panchayat reconstituted after premature dissolutions continues only for the remainder of the period. 1 to know. 2 yes, 2 only. Panchayat reconstitute hole mane remainder of the period le thakibo. Etu ki hoy titia hole? Minimum age prescribed for any person 21 years বুলি কৈছে. 21 হ'ব লাগে, not 25. 18 নহয়তো, 18 নহয়তো, 21 তো sure. Okay. Judiciary. The power of Supreme Court of India to decide disputes between center and states falls under very tough question. Center aru states মাজত decide je koribo lage etu comes under advisory, appellate, original, constitutional. তো ABCD হেতু কাৰণে দিছে, এটো নাজানিলে এক্সামলে যাবই না লাগে এনেকে এটা কথা. The Chief Justice of a High Court acts in an administrative capacity. When the Chief Justice of a High Court acts in an administrative capacity, he is subject to writ jurisdiction of any other judges of the High Court, special control exercised by Chief Justice of India, discretionary powers of the governor of the state, special powers provided to by the powers provided to the Chief Minister. Administrative capacity. Etu hoise writ jurisdiction. Uttor. Administrative capacity আছে ন, তেতিয়া other judges বিলাকে judge হিচাপে তেওঁলোক হেকো পাৰিব writ jurisdiction. According to the Constitution of India, the term district judge shall not include chief presidency magistrate, sessions judges, tribunal judge, chief judge of a small cause court. Tribunal judge hobo lage 3C is correct, absolutely correct. Tribunal judge, district judge keneke hobo? Tribunal judge. Tribunal to mi concept ase amar. Given below are two statements, one labeled as A enokwa willful disobedience or non-compliance of court orders and use of derogatory language about judicial behavior amount to contempt of court. Judicial activism cannot be practiced without arming the judiciary with punitive powers to punish contemptuous behavior. Four. Both A and R are true, but R is not correct explanation of A. দুইটাই শুদ্ধ হয়, both are true, but explanation নকৰে এইটো হেতু. ঠিক আছে? Judicial activism cannot be practiced without arming the judiciary with punitive powers to punish the contemptuous behavior, willful disobedience or non-compliance of court orders and use of derogatory language about judicial behavior and amount to contempt of court. So ইয়াৰ একো মিল নাই. দুইটাই যদিও হয়, এটো বহুত হাই লেভেলৰ ৰিজনিং, ক্ৰিটিকেল ৰিজনিং দিছে. আজিকালি এটো নিদিয়ে কাৰণ ইয়াত কন্টেনচিয়াস বহুত হৈ যায় হেতু কাৰণে. Supreme Court of India tenders advice to the President on a matter of law or fact on its own initiative, only if he seeks such advice, only if the matter relates to fundamental rights of citizens, only if the issue poses a threat to unity and integrity of the 5B. এতিয়া এটো হেৰি ক'ব লাগিব, ইয়াৰ আৰ্টিকেলটো ক'ব লাগিব. 143 Consider the following statements regarding the high courts in India. There are 18 high courts in the country. 3 of them have jurisdiction over more than one state. No union territory has a high court of its own. Judges of the high court hold office till the age of 62. High court. No union territory have a high court of its own. Border লাভ নহলগে কিন্তু 4 to হবই লাগিব এতিয়া 4 to free gift 1 to no বুলি কৈছে 1 to no বুলি কলে 4 only হ'ব আৰু এতিয়া কেটা হাই কোর্ট আছে how many high courts are there in India 25 হৈ গল এতিয়া 25 নে 24 25 basic common 25 আহিছে Salaries and allowances of judges of high court are charged to the etu to paribo salaries and allowances of judges of high court are charged Consular Fund of India on high 7B Consolidated Fund of States Consolidated Fund of India or state দুটা মাজত আছে স্টেটৰ পৰা লয় হাই কোৰ্টৰ জাজে The power to enlarge the jurisdiction of Supreme Court of India with respect to any matter included in the union list of legislative powers rests with enlarge the jurisdiction kune koibo pare President of India Chief Justice of India Parliament C 8C is correct etu ki prashno hol aru Which of the following high courts has the territorial jurisdiction over Andaman and Nicobar Islands? Eto sobe jane. Kolkata. The highest criminal court of the district is Court of District and Session Judge. District judge are appointed by governor in consultation with high courts. A person to be eligible for appointment as a district judge should be an advocate or pleader of 7 years, standing for more, or an officer in judicial service in the union or the state. When the session judge awards a death sentence, it must be confirmed by High Court before it is carried out. গোটেই কিটাই হয় all are true correct very good according to the National Human Rights Commissions Act 1993 who amongst the following can be its chairman National Human Rights Commission chairman kun hoy any serving judge of Supreme Court any serving judge of the High Court only a retired Chief Justice of India only a retired Chief Justice of a High Court 11C only a retired Chief Justice of India very good sobe parise Which one of the following is the correct sequence in the descending order of precedence in the warrant of precedence? Descending order, upor ba tolole. Attorney General of India, Judges of Supreme Court, Members of Parliament, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Judges of Supreme Court, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Attorney General, Members of Parliament. Attorney General, Deputy Chairman, Judges of Supreme Court, Attorney General, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Members of Parliament. Twelve answer to B বুলি কৈছে. Judges of Supreme Court, Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Attorney General of India are members of Parliament. There are 25 high courts in India. Punjab, Haryana, and the Union Territory of Chandigarh have a common high court. National Capital Territory of Delhi has a high court of its own. 13. এতিয়া এটো all হব এতিয়া এটো all হব তেতিয়া এটো 21 আছিলে হেকাৰণে 2 and 3 আছিলে এতিয়া এটো all হব ঠিক আছে The Parliament cannot enlarge the jurisdiction of Supreme Court of India as its jurisdiction is limited to that conferred by the Constitution. The officers and servants of the Supreme Court and High Courts are appointed by the concerned Chief Justice and administrative expenses are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. One to definitely no cannot enlarge বুলি কৈ দিছে two only বুলি কৈছে আপোনালোকে let's see 14 two only yes it is correct in India every state has a high court in its territory every state the Constitution of India provides a high court in each state one to wrong what A is false, R is true. 15D is the correct answer. Who was the Chief Justice of India when PIL was introduced to the Indian judicial system? Chief Justice of India কোন আসলে PIL introduced করতে 16. Famous PN Bhagwati. A person who has held office as a permanent key. Okay. Permanent judge of a high court cannot plead or act in any court before any authority in India except of Supreme Court. A person is not qualified for punishment for appointment as a judge of high court in India unless he has for at least 5 years held a judicial office in the territory of India. A person is not qualified for appointment as a judge of a high court unless 5 years office. Seventeen answer is neither. Both wrong. এটো কিমান হ'ব জুডিশিয়াল অফিস কিমান দিন থাকিব লাগিব হাই কোর্টত হ'ব হলে 10 years very good the mode of removal of a judge of a high court in India is same as that of removal of judge of a Supreme Court. After retirement from the office, a permanent judge of a high court cannot plead in any other court before any authority in India. One to yes বুলি কৈছে one only After retirement from the office, a permanent judge of High Court cannot plead or act in any court before authority in India. কোনকিটা কোর্টত কৰিব পাৰে প্লিড? সুপ্ৰিম কোৰ্টত পাৰে নে কৰিবলৈ প্লিড? আৰু হাই কোৰ্টত পাৰে এক্সেপ্ট যিখন হাই কোৰ্টত তেওঁ জাজ আছিলে সেইখনৰ বাহিৰে বাকি হাই কোৰ্ট বিলাকত পাৰিব। Very good. How many high courts in India have jurisdiction over more than one state? How many high courts in India have jurisdiction over more than one state? এটো এটা অপশন হিচাপে আহিছিলে আগতে, এতিয়া এটো সিঙ্গল কে আহি গৈছে, এটো ইউপিএসসি কৰি থাকে। How many high courts in India have jurisdiction over more than one state? Union territories not included. Bombay, Guwahati, Punjab and Haryana. So তিনটা হয়। Bombay, Maharashtra, Goa, Guwahati High Court, তাৰপিছত চণ্ডীগড় যেটো হাই কোর্ট আছে পাঞ্জাব আৰু হৰিয়ানাৰ কাৰণে। Punjab and Haryana High Court বুলি কয়, Punjab and Haryana High Court. ঠিক আছে, ক্লিয়াৰ হৈ গ'ল 3 হাই কোর্টস যাৰ jurisdiction more than one state আছে। নামকেইটা লিখি দিয়ক এবাৰ এই হাই কোর্টছৰ নাম। মইতো লিখিলো, মোৰটো হৈ গ'ল কাম। কোন কিখন আছে? বম্বে, গুৱাহাটী আৰু পাঞ্জাব হাৰিয়ানা। Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer was the Chief Justice of India. V.R. Krishna Iyer is considered as one of the progenitors of PIL, Indian judicial system. 20. B, 2 only. তেওঁ Chief Justice of India নাছিলে বোলে। কিন্তু V.R. Krishna Iyer প্লাস আৰু এজন মানুহে PIL আনিছিলে। এই মানুহজন কোন আছিলে? যি Chief Justice of India আছিলে, P.N. Bhagwati। আৰু V.R. Krishna Iyer মনত ৰাখিব তেতিয়াহলে। With reference to Lok Adalats, consider following statements. An award made by Lok Adalat is deemed to be a decree of a civil court and no appeal lies against thereto any court. Matrimonial family disputes are not covered under Lok Adalat. Not covered, eto wrong hoy aru one only to hoy. One only to কিয় হয় হেতু আমি কব লাগিব। One only to কিয় হয়? No appeal lies against there to any court. এনেকুৱা এটা statement wrong হোৱাৰ কাৰণে special reason থাকিব লাগিব। আমি কথা পাতিছিলো এটো। কওকচোন। মানুহবিলাকে এগ্ৰি কৰি পিনেহে যায় লোক আদালতে যি কয় আমি শুনিমগে বুলি। নহলেতো নৰ্মেল কোৰ্ট আছেই। নৰ্মেল কোৰ্টৰ ফিজটো বচাবলে আগতে এগ্ৰি কৰি যায় যে লোক আদালতে যি কয় আমি শুনিমগে। তো সেইকাৰণে নো আপিল এগেইনষ্ট দেয়াৰ টু এনি কোৰ্ট। হয়নে? Yes. With reference to Lok Adalats, which of the following is correct? Lok Adalats have the jurisdiction to settle matters at pre-litigating stage and not those matters pending before any court. Lok Adalats can deal with matters which are civil and not criminal in nature. Every Lok Adalat consists either serving or retired judicial officers only and not any other person. None of the statements above are correct. None of the statements is correct. পেন্ডিং হৈ থাকিলেও যাব পাৰিব লোক আদালতলৈ পেন্ডিং হৈ আছে আমি বোলো লোক আদালতলৈ যাওঁ ক্ৰিমিনেল নেচাৰো কৰিব পাৰিব এইটো নহয় জুডিশিয়াল অফিচাৰ্স অনলি বেলেগ মানুহ থাকিব Which of the following are included in the original jurisdiction? Very interesting question. A dispute between government of India and one or more states. A dispute regarding elections to either house of parliament and that of legislature of a state. A dispute between government of India and a union territory. A dispute between two or more states. Options অকল দুটা দুটাকেহে দিছে 1 and 4 is the correct answer. এইবিলাকে মোটা মোটা কনসেপ্ট বিলাক লব লাগে আৰু ছোট ছোট বস্তু বিলাক প্ৰিভিয়াস ইয়াৰ পৰা কৰিলে হৈ গল With reference to the Delimitation Commission under the following statements, the orders of Delimitation Commission cannot be challenged in a court of law. When the orders of the Delimitation Commission are laid before the Lok Sabha Legislative Assembly, they cannot effect any modifications in these orders. Very interesting question. What a concept around Delimitation Commission humai ase. And you are saying that both 1 and 2 are correct. To hobo lage 24C, both are correct. Cannot effect any modifications in the orders or cannot be challenged in a court of law. Delimitation Commission or kotha to hetu hoy. What is the provision to safeguard the autonomy of Supreme Court of India? It's a very important question. While appointing the Supreme Court judges, the President of India has to consult the Chief Justice of India. Supreme Court judges can be removed by Chief Justice of India only. CJI remove ko paribo. The salaries of the judges are charged on the Consulate Fund of India. Does not vote. Not vote. All appointments of officers and staffs of the Supreme Court of India are made by government only after consulting the Chief Justice of India. Two definitely wrong hoy. Two wrong. 1 2 hoy. তেতিয়াহলে 1 and 3 হ'ব লাগিব 4 to কিয় নহয় 4 to কিয় নহয় All appointments of officers and staffs of the Supreme Court of India are made by the government only after consulting the Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice নিজে appoint কৰে হেতু কাৰণে গভর্নমেন্টে appoint নকৰে আচ্ছা judiciary to state or definition under পৰে নে নপৰে judiciary to state or definition under পৰে নে নপৰে নপৰে বুলি কৈছে মিস দাস নপৰে কিন্তু কেতিয়াবা কেতিয়াবা পঢ়িব পাৰে নে কেনেকুৱা ক্ষেত্ৰত পঢ়িব পাৰে অফিশিয়াল যেতিয়া এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেটিভ কেপাসিটিত কাম কৰে ন তেতিয়াহে ষ্টেট আন্ডাৰত পৰে জুডিশিয়াল ৰিভিউ নহয় জুডিশিয়াল ৰিভিউ এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যনৰ কাম যেতিয়া কৰে তেতিয়া Non-judicial work, yes. With reference to National Legal Services Authority. With reference to National Legal Services Authority, consider the following statements. Its objective is to provide free and competent legal services to weaker sections of society on basis of equal opportunity. It issues guidelines for State Legal Services Authority to implement the legal programs and schemes throughout the country. Both 1 and 2 দুইটাই হয়। Next, no one can be compelled to sing the national anthem since it will be violative of freedom of speech and expression. Right to freedom, conscience, and practice and propagation of religion. There are no legal provisions obliging anyone to sing the national anthem. $28 all correct. 1, 2, 3 are correct. Okay, very good. A British citizen staying in India cannot claim the right to freedom of trade and profession, equality before the law, protection of life and personal liberty, freedom of religion. $29A is the correct answer. Freedom of trade and profession তেওঁ কৰিব নোৱাৰে British citizen. কাৰণ কি ব্ৰিটিছে অলৰেডি এবাৰ freedom of trade কৰি পিনে আমাৰ যি অৱস্থা কৰি থৈছে। In the Indian Constitution, the right to equality is granted by 5 articles. They are. কেনেকুৱা tough question ৰে, এনেকুৱা question দিলে কি হ'ব? 14 to 18. কবে পাৰিছিস? Tough question নহয়। Which one of the following rights was described by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as the heart and soul of the Constitution? B.R. Ambedkar কথা সুধি দিছে। (301) pertains to right to property. Right to property is a legal right but not a fundamental right. Article 300A was inserted in the constitutional amendment. এটো কি হ'ব? One to know বুলি কৈছে 32. Two only. Two only বুলি কি কৈছে? 3 to নহয় নেকি correct? থ্ৰীটো হ'ব লাগে, কিন্তু ইয়াত কি জানি এনেকুৱা হ'ব পাৰে ইয়াত কিবা 42nd কনস্টিটিউশন এমেন্ডমেন্ট এক্ট এনেকুৱা কিবা এটা দিয়া আছিল কি জানি হেতু মিস কৰিলে কি জানি এটো হলে 2 and 3 হ'ব লাগে। 300A was inserted in the constitutional amendment. এটাতো হয়। Question to either ভুল হৈছে in the constitution amendment, in the 44th, 42nd কিবা এটা লিখিব লাগিব। So এটো answer to 2 and 3 হ'ব as per this question. As per this question এটো 2 and 3 হ'ব। Extra A আছে definitely এটো correct logic হয়। কিন্তু যদি এটো কয় যে 42nd বা 44th বা 73rd তেতিয়া হেতু ভুল হ'ব। এটো লিখাই নাই। With reference to the United Nations Convention on Rights of Child, consider the following: rights of development, right to expression, right to recreation. Which of the above is our rights of the child? One, two, three. কিন্তু আমাৰ ঘৰত এটো নাই, right to recreation নাই, আৰু right to expression নাই, right to development আছে বাৰু অকমান। So 33D. Recreation কৰিব নালাগিব, অকল পঢ়ি থাকিব লাগিব। Consider the following statements. Supreme Court of India tenders advice to the President of India on matters of law or fact, on its own initiative, on any matter of larger public interest, if he seeks such an advice. Only if matters related to fundamental rights. এটো প্ৰশ্ন ৰিপিটে কৰি দিলে নি বাৰু? Two only হ'ব 35 34 B 2 only. In India, if a religious sect oblique community is given the status of national minority, what special privileges it is entitled to? It can establish and administer exclusive educational institutions. The president automatically nominates representative. It can derive benefits. এটোতো সকলোৱে জানে আৰু কথাটো কি। 2 to no, 1 to free gift, 3 to কি হয়? হয়। India is home to lakhs of persons with disabilities. What are the benefits available to them under the law? Free schooling, preferential allotment of land, ramps in public buildings. কোনটো নহয়? ক'বই নোৱাৰে কোনটো নহয়। Right to education, right to equal access to public service, right to food, Universal Declaration of Human Rights কোনটো হয়? 1, 2, 3. With reference to consumers' rights, privileges under the provisions of law, which of the following? Consumers' rights. Consumers are empowered to take samples for food testing. If when a consumer files a complaint in any consumer forum, no fee is required to be paid. In case of death of a consumer, his or her legal heir can file a complaint in the consumer forum on his or her behalf. No fee কেনেকৈ হ'ব পাৰে? No fee. 1 to হ'ব লাগিব। Take samples for food testing. আৰু 3 to হয় নে নহয় ক'লে হৈ গ'ল। 3 to যদি হয় বুলি কয় তেতিয়াহ'লে C to হ'ব 38. Answer is C. The power of Supreme Court of India to decide disputes between center and states falls under its এটো কি কৰিব এতিয়া? Appellate jurisdiction নেকি? With reference to Gram Nyalaya Act, which of the following statements is correct? As per Act, Gram Nyala can hear only civil cases, not criminal cases. The Act allows local social activists as mediators and conciliators. Eto wrong hoy. Two only বুলি কৈছে, and that is absolutely correct. In India, judicial review কি imply করে? The power of judiciary to pronounce upon the constitutionality of laws and executive orders. The power of judiciary to question the wisdom of laws enacted by legislatures. The power of judiciary to review all the legislative enactments before they are assented to by President. The power of judiciary to review its own judgments given earlier. Similar matter. Constitutionality of the laws, 41A is definitely correct. So আমাৰ এইটো হৈ গ'ল judiciary clear. Structure of Indian economy and demographics. এটা আমি পিছত কৰিম. Next weekৰ পৰা আমি geography আৰম্ভ কৰিব পাৰিম. So আজি আমাৰ recording class ইমানতে অন্ত পৰিল. আমি এতিয়া after class লৈ যাওঁ. Thank you.